Good afternoon, I'm KHOU 11 meteorologist Chris Ramirez. We are tracking some downpours across southeast Texas. The good news, though, is that we haven't seen the rain as heavy here across the city of Houston. We are seeing those gray skies. If you look over downtown, a lot of activities going on downtown if you are out and about. But as we look at radar is looking a bit quiet for areas inside the city, but that's not really the case for areas out just south of Houston. Areas around Liberty, Anahuac, Dayton, seeing some heavy rain, but as we get a closer look at what's going on, we're seeing more of the heavier downpours along the coast and around from Galveston to Bay Harbor. There's also some dangerous lightning with these storms along 45, so really not a good idea to be outdoors if you are along the coastal areas for this afternoon. So Houston not really receiving much of the rain. We did see a storm that was giving some pretty gusty winds out in around the Galveston area. We saw winds between 30 and 40 miles an hour. This was about maybe 10 to 15 minutes ago. Winds have died down. The National Weather Service did issue that special weather statement that was in place. Now they've allowed it to expire since wind conditions have lightened up. But we are still tracking those downpours across the city as we head into later on today. We're going to step off screen here so we can get a better look at what's going on. So Houston not really seeing much of downpours as of now, but we are seeing some areas, especially just northwest of Houston around the Beltway and 290. They're still dealing with some downpours, especially along I-10 and in around the Katy area. So if you are in Katy, maybe all the way to Cypress, you're likely seeing more of those showers and storms, but also some lightning with these storms as we are continuing to track the potential for these heavy downpours to last at least through the 3 to 4 p.m. hours. So looking mostly at the radar, we're looking at mostly heavier rain showers north and east of the Houston area. But the good news is that we're seeing this moving fairly fast. It's a very fast movement of these storms. They were stationary as they were up just north of the Houston area, but as we look at now, we're just continuing to see quiet conditions and gray skies. That doesn't mean that we cannot really expect to see more downpours and later on this afternoon, but just keep that in mind that as we head closer towards the afternoon hours, we are still going to be under the gun for downpours at least through 3 to 5 p.m. So as we look also at our future track is showing these downpours lasting at least through 3 p.m. This 4, 5 o'clock is when we could still see these become still scattered and widespread, but looking likely that as long as these storms fastly move out of the area, that's what we really like to see because it really prevents that flooding risk to be a factor. I think the only thing that we're going to have to really worry about is the dangerous lightning with these storms and the probably reduced visibility that could happen on those roadways as we progress through the next few hours. So rainfall outlook, wouldn't be surprised if we see up to 1 to 1.5 inches of rainfall in some locations. It's looking more likely that the heavier showers are going to be along the coastal areas as we progress through today and tomorrow. But if you're heading across the state, conditions mostly quiet for tomorrow. It's going to be more isolated in nature, but this is all thanks to a stationary frontal boundary that is moving south and keeping the conditions rather unsettled, at least for the next few days. High pressure system situated over towards the west of us, over West Texas. We're going to continue to have these ridge running storms, and the door is just open for the atmosphere to be unsettled, at least for the rest of our weekend into next week. So that's something to keep an eye on in terms of rain chances as we head into the next few days, that we will see a daily rain chance each and every day starting today and lasting at least through much of the week. As you could see that here, you see those storms and that rain potential at least through Wednesday of next week. So looking likely that we are seeing good conditions in terms of not any problematic storms here across the Houston area, but we're also looking at the potential for just some of these downpours to bring some reduced visibility. The good news though, as far as the tropics, no activity expected for the next 7 days in the Atlantic basin. It's just that we're going to have to really keep an eye on those high temps. Highs are going to be in the upper 90s going into those afternoon hours, and so as for your 7-day forecast, expect rain chances at least each and every day. Don't be surprised if we do have those downpours to be moving through going into later in the afternoon, especially as we head towards the warmer parts of the day. But as we take a live look right now across downtown Houston, things are mostly quiet. That's the good news. We have a lot of folks out here. I'm live here from Avenida Plaza at the George R. Brown Convention Center, and we are definitely seeing lots of activity outside. And so if you are out and about, just keep in mind that we are also expecting some downpours to still be in the picture. Of course, it's a live view of downtown. Temperature right now is 70, well, in the mid 80s across our area. And like I said, those downpours just south of Houston, we could still see some of these downpours moving in across Galveston. So also some lightning and some dangerous lightning with those storms as we head into the next maybe 30 minutes to an hour. And so along 45 Galveston to Jamaica Beach, maybe between Bay Harbor, there is where you're seeing more of the heavier rain chances. And also we're dealing with some heavy showers and storms over the Katy area at the current moment. So as we get close to 2 to 3 inches of rain, that's when we could see some isolated flooding and some ponding on roadways. But we haven't seen that quite yet here across the Houston area as we progress through the afternoon. So expecting those conditions to just remain mostly active in terms of the potential for more heavy downpours. You're seeing these stationary boundaries that are sort of just like moving ahead of the storms. And so as those continue to move through, we're just going to continue to track these storms as they head closer towards south and east of the Houston area, as well as west of the Houston area. But that's what we are seeing right now. No really concerns. There's a few of these stronger storms off near Bryan College Station. Those have a special weather statement. I wouldn't be surprised if some of those actually move into the Grimes County within the next maybe hour or so. But we cannot roll out more downpours through the afternoon. And so that's what we're tracking through the rest of our afternoon and for the rest of our weekend. And the good news is that we're not seeing any issues as of now, but that doesn't mean that that can't happen at least until 5 p.m. It's going to be around 5 p.m. is when these storms are going to start dying off and weakening, all thanks to the loss of daytime heating. But looking at your 7-day forecast, high temps topping out in the 90s, scattered storms likely through tomorrow as well. We will see that rain chance continue to be in the picture each and every day for next week. But the good news here is that we are keeping you up to date on the latest weather trends here across the Houston area through the rest of the day. Of course, make sure to tune in to Pat Kavlin, meteorologist Pat Kavlin, who will be on later on today. We believe that's around 6 p.m. is when you can get more extended news and weather updates, and hopefully will be mostly dry here across the Houston area. I know we had a downpour moving through downtown not too long ago, but we are expecting it to continue to have the chance for those heavy downpours to move through at least 5 p.m. And as always, make sure to get the latest updates on the KHOU 11 app as well as on KHOU.com.